भूलैया जीवन तेरा साचो नाम प्रभु को भूल भूलैया जीवन तेरा साचो नाम प्रभु को मन में बसा ले आज तो वंदे लेकर नाम गुरु को लेकर नाम गुरु को सूरदास के शाम हरेंगे सूरदास के शाम हरेंगे जन्म जन्म के पीर छोड़ झमेला जग का कह गए दास कबीर पार लगाए एक पल में तुलसी से रघुवीर छोड़ झमेला झूठे जग का छोड़ झमेला झूठे जग का कह गए दास कबीर पार लगाए एक पल में तुलसी से रघुवीर छोड़ झमेला झूठे जग का छोड़ झमेला झूठे जग का
The Prem Saga Ramayana group, and they hail from right here in the vicinity of Bilkal. Now this group has been
कर ले हरि से प्रीत उमरिया थोर रहे, कर ले हरि से प्रीत उमरिया थोर रहे, कर ले हरि से प्रीत उमरिया थोर रहे, उमरिया थोर रहे, उमरिया थोर रहे, उमरिया थोर रहे, कर ले हरि से प्रीत You know, there was a mother who had one son. A mother who had one son. And my friends, she did everything to take care of that son. Everything that she did in life was for her son. Eventually she got the son married. And she had a grandson. But you see, when the old lady was still able to move around and things, they were able to take care of her, right? Because she could have done things for herself. But as she became older, my friends, she became weaker. And at that stage, both husband and wife, son and daughter-in-law decided, well, we got to find somebody to take care of Ma now. We can't take care of her. You know, there's a saying that one could take care of 10, but sometimes 10 just can't take care of one, eh? I'm sure you would have heard that saying before. And that's so true. Her mother alone, sometimes her father alone will take care of 10 children, and 10 children just can't take care of that one mother or father. And my friends, the daughter-in-law and the son now is thinking about a way whereby they can find some way to take care of their mother. Each day the wife would speak to her husband, you got to do something about your mother. We cannot take care of her now. The son loved his mother. He didn't want to do his mother anything that would hurt her. But constant hearing the same thing night after night, you know, this guy fed up. And he decided that he was going to do something. You know what he did? One evening when he came from work, he took his mother in the car and he drove her to the home for the aged. The mother, as soon as she went into that car, realizes something was not right here. Something was definitely wrong. So she started to ask her son, why are you taking me? The son said, Ma, when you reach, I'll explain to you. He took his mother to the home for the aged, drove in the parking lot. He took his mother out of the car and he placed her in the waiting room. The grandson, who loved his grandmother so much, he went and sat with his grandmother in the waiting room. Meanwhile, the father, he went in the office to sign the papers, and his other signed papers, right? So he went to fix up the papers and so on. But whilst he was going in the office, the mother still asked him, Bet, please tell me, why did you bring me to this place? He says, Ma, when I return, I'll tell you. He eventually went and did what he had to do in the office, and he came back. And then he told his mother, Ma, from today onwards, you would be staying in this place. Here is where you would be living. The mother immediately started to cry. Tears started streaming down her cheeks. The grandson, seeing his grandmother crying, he took his tiny hand and started to wipe the tears away from her eyes, from her cheeks. He says, Mama, don't cry. Don't cry. And he begged his father, Pa, don't leave Mama here. I love Mama. Don't leave her here. But the father said to the son, no, son, we have to leave her here. We cannot take care of her home. And he held his son and walked away from the waiting room. Whilst he was going, the mother told him, Bet, you are leaving me here, but I am telling you, I am not going to live long again. Bet, if you leave me here, I am going to die. I love you. I love my grandson. I love my daughter-in-law also. I want to be with you all. But if you leave me here, I will die. 2 weeks after, 2 weeks, the mother died in that home for the aged. On the day of the funeral, the son had to do the funeral rites, right? And whilst he was doing the funeral rites, he took up the thari with the lighted diya to do her arti. And the grandson, his son, as he took up the thari to do arti, his son grabbed onto his hand and says, Pa, what are you going to do? What arti are you going to do now? When Mama was begging you not to leave her in that home, You did not listen. You did not listen to her. What arati are you going to do now? What sense does it make now? It doesn't make sense anymore, Mama, she did everything to bring you up. She loved you so much. Why did you do this to Mama? My friends, who can love a son more than a mother? All mothers love their sons so much. They truly love their sons. Mata putra se pyar kiya, Mata putra se pyar kiya hai jitna, कौन करेगा इतना, कौन करेगा इतना। माता पुत्र से प्यार किया है जितना, कौन करेगा इतना, कौन करेगा इतना। नौ महीने उधर मेरा था जब दुनिया में आया। My friends, before a son is to be born, that mother keeps that child in her stomach for 9 months. And during that 9 months, whatever she eats, half she shares it with her child. My friends, and while she's in that state, she would be very careful as to how she walks. She does not want to stumble in order to injure her child. That love begins, my friends, at that time. The child is now born. What does Ma do? नौ महीने उधर मेरा था जब दुनिया में आया, सर्दी लगेगी चादर उड़ा कर, सर्दी लगेगी चादर उड़ा कर, स्तन के दूध पिलाया, कौन करेगा इतना, कौन करेगा इतना। My friends, the child is now born, and Ma, in order to keep her child warm, would wrap her in the chadar, the blanket, so that the child remains very, very warm and comfortable. The child now wants to sleep, right? What does Ma do? I'm sure you all as mothers would have done this before. She would take the child, put the child on its belly, on her lap, and she would tap the child very softly. Tapak tapak kare sukh ke sulaya, ga kare surla bhajana. She would tap the child very softly on his back. And while she's tapping, she would sing beautiful lullabies. Can you remember what lullaby you used to sing? Some of the lullabies you used to sing to put your children to sleep? I'm sure you would remember them. There are so many beautiful ones. तुझे सूरज कहूँ या चंदा, तुझे दीप कहूँ या तारा, मेरा नाम करेगा रोशन, जग में मेरा राज दुलारा। तुझे सूरज कहूँ या चंदा, तुझे दीप कहूँ या तारा मेरा नाम करेगा रोशन जग में मेरा राज्य दुलारा. Can you remember that one? I'm sure some of you would have sung that for your children. I'm sure. But you know something, my friends? My mother, she was a very, very good singer. Babe? She was a very, very good singer. And you know, she would sing beautiful lullabies when we were small. And as I grew up, she would remind me of some of the lullabies she used to sing. And you know, one stuck in my mind. I could never forget this one. Never. सो जा मेरे लाल सो जा मेरे लाल सो जा मेरे लाल सो जा मेरे लाल मधुर से लोने निंदिया गाए मैं देखूं ये ताल सो जा मेरे लाल सो जा मेरे लाल. My friends, beautiful lullabies. So much of love Ma would sing those lullabies with to put you to sleep. ठपक ठपक करे सुख के सुनाया गा कर सुरल भजना बीमार पड़े जब वैद्य बुला कर बीमार पड़े जब वैद्य बुला कर औषध पान कराया कौन करेगा इतना कौन करेगा इतना. The son has now reached the age of marriage, right, Ashwin? The mother is going to marry her child now. You think that love decreases? You think mother would stop loving her son? No, that would never happen. You know, I remember when I was going to get married. You know, when they put you in Dulaha car to go by Dulahan's house to get married, Ma would bring a glass of something to drink and she would put it in your mouth to sip. And when my mother was putting that in my mouth to sip, and I was sipping, I was looking at her and I saw the tears falling from her eyes. And I asked her, Ma, why are you crying? Your eldest son is getting married today. You should be very, very happy. Why are you crying? And she said to me, she said, Sona, today you are going to get married. I hope that the Dulahin that you bring to this home would give you the love and treat you the way I treated you. And she placed her hand on my head and blessed me. And my friends, that blessing really worked. It worked wonders. I got a Dulahin who really, really took care of me. But you know something? God decided that she would be better off by him. So he took her away from me. But that was the will of God. We have no control over that. No control. जवान भये जब शादी करना तब तक प्रेम न छूटे माता की ममता ऐसी बड़ी है माता की ममता ऐसी बड़ी है सागर भरा है जित करेगा इतना, माता पुत्र से प्यार किया है जितना, कौन करेगा इतना, कौन करेगा इतना. That's the sort of love that a mother has for her child. And that love, my friends, once she's alive, she will always have that love for her child. Will keep on loving her child. And my friends, Sumintra decided here that the time was not right to be thinking in this way. The welfare of her son Lakshman was most important. As a result, she spoke to Lakshman. And what did she say to Lakshman? Let's hear in this final chaupai. अवध तहाँ जहाँ राम निवासु, तह ये दिवासु जहाँ बनो कासु. जय राम श्री राम, जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम. जो पयसिया राम बन जाहि, जो पयसिया राम बन जाई, अवध तुम्हारा काचू कछु नाही, काजू कछु नाही रामा, काजू कछु नाही. जय श्री राम जय राम जय.
Sitaram, everyone. Okay. Well, it's almost 1:30. Today we are here to perform the Antyeshri Sanskar for Mr. Sahadeo Sirju, better known as Saj. What is this Sanskar? Well, it is one of the last in the 16 major Sanskar that a Hindu performs in his or her lifetime. I apologize if some are to my back, but I can't avoid that, right? This Sanskar today I consider is a rite of passage, because one door closes but another will open. Do we agree? Why we do this Sanskar? It is to purify the body, the mind and the intellect. But what we do today will help to wash away karmic impurities from the deceased, the Atma. But not only will it serve in his benefit, but also to bring a sense of closure to the loved ones, the family, the relatives that are left behind. So at this point, I will start immediately. John? So I'll ask everyone, please take a standing position for a few moments. John, I'll have to move away from the bike, right? Let all the main judgment come forward from me. All main judgment. Face out. Face out. Yeah. All line here and face out. Yeah. Right. Right. So face out now, right? Turn and face out. All of them? Let all of them come forward. All of them come forward. So I ask everyone to focus, contemplate on the form of Bhagavan Vishnu for me. Om apavitra pavitro va sarva vastam gato piva yaha smare pundarikaksham Sabhyabhyantaraha Suchihi. Alright. I need some assistance. Let's start. Who's the main yajman? John, you come forward. Alright. Everybody going to wash hands, right? Asta Prashadam Samarapyami. This is the longest wash hand system. My goodness, Lord. Alright, come forward. Alright. You can pretend to sip or sip. Om Keshavaya Namaha. Everybody. Again. Om Raghavaya Namaha. Again. Om Narayanaya Namaha. Alright, sip now, right? Om Govindaya Namaha. Okay. Now we're going to start with you first. Yes, sir. Right hand ring finger. Om Pavitresto. Next one. Left hand ring finger. Om Pavitresto Vaishnavya Sarveturvaha. You made two for everybody or one?
Two for everybody and one extra for me for the index.
Right. I was coming to that after. Let me make sure they get. Well, if you know they have, come on, I'll give you one more time. Om Pavitresto Vaishnavya Sarveturvaha. Prasava Utpunnam Yachajena Pavitrena Suryasya Rashmibhihi. Tasyate Pavitrapate Pavitra Puttasya Yatkamaha Punetachak. Okay, yam, some a little smaller. Om Pavitresto Vaishnavya Sarveturvaha. Prasava Utpunnam Yachajena Pavitrena Suryasya Rashmibhihi. Tasyate Pavitrapate Pavitra Puttasya Yatkamaha Puneta Chakeyama. Om Pavitresto Vaishnavya Sarveturvaha. Prasava Utpunnam Yachajena Pavitrena Suryasya Rashmibhihi. Any more, John? Tasyate Pavitrapate Pavitra Puttasya Yatkamaha Puneta Chakeyama. Alright. Yeah. Okay. I'll come back here now. Alright, John, stand up on my side. Alright, Chandan. Om Tilakam Cha Mahapanyam Pavitram Papanashanam Apadaharate Nityam Lalate Harichandanam. Om Tilakam Cha Mahapanyam Pavitram Papanashanam Apadaharate Nityam Lalate Harichandanam. Alright. Alright. Yeah, stuff for this uncle, yeah? Then hold this in your hand. Vocal gram, right? Yeah. Hold all that in your hand. Okay. Again, we contemplate on the form of Bhagavan Vishnu. Om Vishnuru Vishnu Isha Adyashi Brahmanoye Dvitiye Parade Shri Sedvara Kalpe Vaisvavat Manvantere Ashta Vimsatire Mekari Yoge Kare Patam Chanare Punyakshethe Bhodavatare Vartamane Chanida Deshe Bhokal Grame Rangu Chase Warren Road Vartamane Yatanam San Varsare Mukayane Ashwin Mase Krishna Pakshe Saptami Tito Shukravasare Rohini Nakshatre Vaja Yoge Vrishti Karane Amukarashi Tite Surya Amukarashi Vrishab Rashi Tite Surya Shashankecha Sheshu Graheshu Yata Rashi Stanaliteshu Amuka Gotrasa. Take your name. Mukanamna Sahadeo Sirju Pretasya Anteshti Karma Aham Kareshe. Okay, John, just rest it anywhere by the head. Right, John, do me a favor. Take a flower and pass a flower for everybody. You know? One flower each, right? Again, I ask you all to meditate on the form of Bhagavan Vishnu. And if you are not Hindu, well, on the form that you reside or hold close to your heart. Om Yam Brahma Varudendaru Damarutaha Tunvanti Devyai Strivai Vedahi Sangha Parakramo Panishadair Gayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyana Vastit Targaten Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yogino Yasyantam Na Vidur Surasura Gana Devaya Tasmai Namaha Om Shantakaram Bhujagashayanam Padmanabham Suresham Vishwadharam Gagana Sadrisham Meghavarnam Shubhangam Lakshmi Kantam Kamalanayanam Yogi Bhirdhyanagamyam Vande Vishnu Bhavayaharan Sarvaroke Kanatam. Prem se bolo Shri Vishnu Bhagwan ki. You all can take your seat. Thank you. Done? Everybody else, where's the flowers here? All right, John. I'm coming back to the mic here a little bit, right? All right, John. So we're going to make the offerings. Water first. You could do 3 times or a few times. Om Kashyap Gotrasya Sahadeo Sirju Pretyasya Mityasthane Shiva Nimitam Snanam Maidite Dvopatashatam Chandan Nojan. Index finger, right. You can come forward. Come down from the forehead. Come down, right? Do it 1 time. Down, right? Om Kashyap Gotrasya Sahadeo Sirju Pretyasya Mityasthane Shiva Nimitam Gandam Maidite Dvopatashatam Om Kashyap Gotrasya Sahadeo Sirju Pretasya Mityasthane Shiva Nimitam Vidagomadam Mayarite Vopatishatam Mala. You can come down. Go far. Yes, so you alone, everybody go there. Everybody? All right. Om Kashyap Gotrasya Sahadeo Sirju Pretasya Mityasthane Shiva Nimitam Pushpamala Mairite Vopatishatam. Om Kashyap Gotrasya Sahadeo Sirju Pretasya Mityasthane Shiva Nimitam Pushpamala Mairite Vopatishatam. Om Kashyap Gotrasya Sahadeo Sirju Pretasya Mityasthane Shiva Nimitam Pushpamala Mairite Vopatishatam. Om Kashyap Gotrasya Sahadeo Sirju Pretasya Mityasthane Shiva Nimitam Pushpamala Mairite Vopatishatam. Alright, John. Alright, now. You will lead clockwise 5 times, right? Right here? Okay, go ahead, John. Om Yam Dware Mahagore Andena Tamasavrate Tatravalokanaytaya Deepo Yam Upatishatam. Om Kashyap Gotrasya Sahadeo Sirju Pretasya Mityasthane Shiva Nimitam Deepam Mairate Vopatishatam. Nimitam Deepam Mairate Vopatishatam. Jai Krishna Hare Shri Krishna Hare Dukhiyo ke dukha dukare. Jai 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 Krishna Hare Jai Krishna Hare Shri Krishna Hare Dukhiyo ke dukha dukare. Jai 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 Krishna Hare. Jai 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 Krishna Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Right hand, John. Right hand. I don't know how much you mean. One more. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Okay, John. Pin that thing. All right. Well, somebody will help John out, right? Come. John, well, you know what you have to do, right? Open your right hand, offer. Bring the water. You offer it in his hand. Open your fingers there, John. Offer. Om Kashyap Gotrasya Sahadeo Sirju Pretasya Mityastane Shiva. Offer. Pour. Nimitam Eshate Pindo Mairete Tavopetashtatam. Good? I rest alone. I hear what I will ask.
Rest it down.
Yeah, I feel so because for everybody to see, right? Okay, Sitaram again. So I know this is not easy. Trust me, I have done many funerals before. Plus I have been in the boat of having funerals done for my family. So I understand clearly what this is. But I'll continue. So what is death? Well, simply, we believe when the Atma or the soul leaves the body, we call that death, right? But why we die? So I will refer to Mr. Sahadeo Sirju as uncle because this is what I call him. So I will refer to him as uncle. So uncle got 67 years, am I correct? So why now? Why did Lord Krishna decide to take him? Well, the reason is simple. Once our karmic obligations have been completed, we are taken. In other words, the life that you have right now, once you have learned everything you could learn in it, once you have experienced everything you have experienced in this life, and there's nothing new to gain, well then you will vacate this body. Had a malfunction. As I was saying, so this is why we die. But that is only the beginning. It gives the Atma another opportunity to be born in a new situation or placed in a new situation. And the reason for that is each life that you get or each realm that you go to, you get an opportunity to go closer to the Supreme. So that gives each person that opportunity. Now, I always tell this short story each time I do funeral, and I will tell it here too. In the past, there was this lady who lost her only son, and it was her only child. And she was lucky enough to dwell in the time of Gautam Buddha. Now, if you have lost anybody, as this family is currently going through, or especially a child, you will know the pain. And another person cannot explain that. For instance, some people lose their parents and they are okay. Others can't walk for days and grieve for years. and they look down at each other and say, well, why are you crying so much? But you don't know the love that that person had for that individual. It might be different than yours. We agree? Everybody has a different form of attachment. Now this lady who lost her only child and her only son, she was grieving, pain-stricken. So she went to Gautam. She went to Buddha and she said, can you bring back my child to life? And he said, yes, I can do this. So I can imagine how happy she felt. But then he said, I have one condition for you. You must go to a house in the village and bring back a handful of mustard seeds. So I think she thought to herself, well, that's not sounding too difficult. But the latter part of the statement is, Buddha continued and said, it must come from a house that have not experienced death. So happily she left the presence of Buddha and she went. House by house she knocked. Do you have mustard seeds? Some said no, some said yes. But the one that said yes, I could imagine the delight in her. But then she continued the statement, have you have death in the house? And they said yes. So they closed the door. So I can imagine how disappointed she was each time. But at the end of the day, she returned to Buddha dejectedly, very sad. When she approached Buddha, she told him, I could not fulfill your request. So Buddha told her that she was not supposed to get the mustard seeds from a house because he sent her to gain some knowledge. In other words, every house she went to had death at some point or the other. So she was still unhappy. She was still grieving. If you lost your parent now 10, 20 years ago, it gets a little better, but there are times that you are reminded and you feel like that pain is brand new. Something, somebody said something, somebody mentioned their name, a birthday came up, Christmas, you know what I'm talking about. And you relive that pain. She was in that state, but with the new knowledge that death is inevitable to one that is born. We all go through this. She had to accept that and move forward in life. Now, I'm going to read Bhagavad Gita for about 20 minutes, but before I do, I will tell you something. When a child is born into a household, that child brings happiness. Many of you are here who are grandparents, or even great-grandparents, if you're currently that lucky, or parents, you know the feeling of seeing that child running, laughing, crying, making mess, but that's okay. The child will fall, it will cry, but it will get older and older. And at some point, that same body becomes inefficient. When an elderly person falls, it is dangerous, it is hazardous. Your memory starts to fail, the body starts to fail, you cannot see well. That same body that brought life and happiness to a household is now a trap for you, right? So I'm going to read Bhagavad Gita for about 20 minutes and we'll try to explain what is happening here. So I'll ask everyone to please clasp your hands and close your eyes. I will do a few pratna of Gita Dhyan, just a few, beginning and end, and I will go straight into Bhagavad Gita. So clasp your hands, contemplate any form of Bhagavan Krishna for me. Om Parataya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitam Mityavarshanim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayanim Ambatvam Anusandadhami Bhagavad Gita Bhavedveshanim Namastute Vyasa Vishala Buddhe Phula Ravindaya Tapata Netra Yenatvaya Bharata Tera Purnaha Pradyaniko Jnanamayaha Pradipaha Prapana Parijataya Totra Vetre Kapanaye Jnana Mudraya Krishnaya Gita Mrita Duhe Namaha. I'll go to the end. Mukam karote vachalum Pangum langhayate girim Yatpipatamaham vande Paramanandana madhavam Yam Rama Marunendaru Damaruta Tonwanti Devyaihi Strivair Vedaihi Sangha Prakramo Panishadair Gayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyana Vastita Targatin Manasa Pashyanti yam yoginu. Yasyantam na vidur sura suragana. Devaya tasmai namaha. Prem se bolo, Vrindavan Bihari Lala ki jai. Okay, so today I will briefly touch into verses 6, 7, and 8 in chapter 15, Bhagavad Gita. So I will go straight into it. Shri Bhagavan Uvach, Lord Krishna is saying here, Natarabhasayate Suryo Nashashankuna Pavakaha Yadgatwana Nivartante Tadhama Paramam Mama. What did Bhagavan Krishna says? He says, neither the sun nor the moon nor fire can illumine that supreme self-effulgent state, attaining which they never return to this world. That is my supreme abode. So in my very limited knowledge, I will try to explain this. He says, neither the sun nor the moon and fire can illumine that supreme self-effulgent state. I'll make it as easy as possible as I can explain. Luminaries are bodies that are able to shine light or reflect light. Your senses brings light to you, your household. But Lord Krishna says, neither the sun nor the moon nor any of these things, fire, can shine in his abode. I always use this example. Men are very brilliant. They can make all sorts of gadgets. You can take the most powerful flashlight created by man at the night and shine it, and it can travel for probably kilometers. But if you take that same flashlight right now and you go outside in the hot sun and you flash it, its power has been masked by the sunlight. We agree? It's there, but it cannot be seen. This is what Lord Krishna is saying. That sun that is shining on us right now, that brings light to our planet, can't even shine a little bit in his abode. And why this is so? He says if you bring all the luminaries together, all the forms of light throughout the universe, you bring all of them together, they still cannot shine in his abode. Because the light that we have in us, the Atma, all the luminaries that exist around us, this light comes from a light of Brahma. So if we are all lights from him, we cannot outshine the source. Likewise, the torchlight or the flashlight cannot outshine the sun. See how powerful that is. But more importantly, not only can light not shine there, the wind doesn't blow there, sorrow does not follow you, death has no entry in his abode. So while we are here and there is a time to grieve, I have been there, I know, I cry for my parents like I can't explain to you, because you love them. They are irreplaceable, but I will come to that point just now. But this is not the end. And if you understand that, tears are temporary, because I will speak of Uncle just now, but I have a feeling where he is going, or a hope. I have a hope where he is going. Now, if you do make it to his supreme abode, he said, attaining which you never return to this world, that is my supreme abode. So he's promising all of us here, if you do happen to make it here, you do not come back here. Some people might say, well, Babs, this place is not too bad, you know. Right now for this family here, they are in sorrow and pain. And others who knew Mr. Sirju, you will be in some pain, but the pain is less dependent on the distance of the relationship. But for many people right now, this world is great. But it is temporary. Because you know why? Before I read Bhagavad Gita, I said when a child is born into a house, it brings happiness. But that is short-lived. Your happiness is always followed by sorrow at some point. Sickness, death, failure, disease, you name it. Once you are born into this planet, Mityolok, you will go through this roller coaster of happiness and sorrow. But if you go to the abode of Bhagavan Krishna, all you experience is happiness. You see the difference? Now I will do the second one. Mamai vangsho jiva loke jiva bhutaha sanatanaha manashashnaning driyani prakriti stani karishati. Verse 7. Bhagavan Krishna is saying, this eternal Jivatma in this body is a fragment of my own self. And it is that alone which draws around itself the mind and the five senses which abide in Prakriti. I will do it quickly again. He's telling you here, the eternal Jiva Atma, eternal, in this body is a fragment of my own self. Now, I know you have heard this before, but if you really understand that statement, it is absolutely powerful. The Atma, the Jiva, which is the soul that exists in us, that was an uncle at some point in time. He says that is a fragment of himself, Bhagavan Krishna, Lord Vishnu. Only that. He says, and it is that alone which draws around itself the mind and the five senses. So, when somebody dies, this verse says, the Atma draws around it the mind and the senses. The Atma does not take the material things, how beautiful you are, if you're fair skin or dark skin, your last name or first name, nothing like that. Your material possession, it only carries your mind and your senses. So give me a few minutes to explain that. What is the mind? Antakaran is called the mind. It's like a package that goes with the soul. So if you believe in reincarnation, which I know does exist, when you die, when the Atma leaves the body, the soul takes the mind and the senses with it. So in other words, uncle here, when his Atma left, his mind and his senses went with him. I'll come to that just now. You know what going with him? Beauty, voice, knowledge, scriptures. But I'm coming to that just now, right? In the Antakaran, you carry manas, your thoughts. So many of you are having some thoughts right now. Maybe about the service, maybe you're questioning uncle or the family or the children, how they're going forward. You may be questioning all sorts of things. How you're dealing with this? Is this really happening now? Why me? Why my family? All those thoughts you have go with you when you leave, good and bad, every single one. Imagine that. It is the reason for indecision in our life, manas. The second thing that goes with your mind is buddhi. Buddhi is intellect. So it is the decision-making faculty of the brain. It allows us to decide what is right and wrong and hopefully choose right. You carry that with you. The third one you carry is ahankar. So I call it I-ness. A lot of people don't like to hear this part. I-ness is, I am the best out in this planet. Don't question me at all. I have so much tribes in this world, you cannot question my authority. You all follow what I'm saying? My car and my house is better than yours, so I will look down on you. I am the most supreme when it comes to knowledge. You all know nothing. I-ness, it is in every single human being. Ego, it controls us, whether we like it or not. There are some people who could control it. I'm happy for them. Not only do we carry manas, your thoughts, buddhi, intellect, and ahankar, you carry chitta, memories. So all the memories that you hold close to your heart, you go with that too. And you carry your senses. Now, before I go to the last verse, why I'm telling you this? Well, if Bhagavan Krishna says, the eternal Jiva Atma in this body is a fragment of my own self. He said Jiva Loke. Loke is place, like a realm. Jiva Loke is your body. Right now, you think you are you because the Atma dwells in you. Jiva Loke. So this Baba is sounding like he mad. What he mean I think I'm me? You believe you are male or female because the Atma resides in a male or female body. You understand? It is temporary, but it will leave, and it will take your mind and senses with it. Now, that mightn't be too important to some people, but I will tell you why it is important in this last verse. Shriyang yadvapanoti yachapa yukta kramati shuraha gruhitvaitani sangyati vayurgandani vashayat. In verse 8, chapter 15, this is the last one I'm doing for you. Lord Krishna says, even as the wind wafts scents from their seats, so too the Jivatma, which is the controller of the body and other things, taking the mind and the senses from the body which it leaves behind, forthwith migrates to the body which it acquires. So this verse lends to the one I just read just now. We already know that when the Atma leaves, it takes the mind and the senses, not so? But in this one, Bhagavan Krishna is saying, from the body which it leaves behind to the body which it acquires. So he's telling you here, whether you get human body or not, You're going to get a form, and your mind and your senses go in with it. So all of you right now, I'm going to ask you a question. You have a certain liking for a particular type of food or drink, or a smell of a particular flower. You have a liking for somebody you met, boyfriend, girlfriend, you probably got married, have children. You meet people on the road and some spark initiates and you become friends with them. And then you meet others and you just walk away immediately. There is no connection there. There is no hello. You all understand what I'm saying? You ever driven somewhere in the past or recently and you saw a house and you don't want to tell your husband or your wife that, you know, I know the inside of that place because they will think you're crazy and Mount Hope not too far. They might drop you there. But you go home and you have a dream and you saw yourself walking somewhere in a field. We call it deja vu. But this is exactly what Lord Krishna is saying. If the Atma takes the mind and the senses, and I told you the mind consists of memories, all the experiences you have in your life go with you. So when you are placed in your new body and you start to speak a language and you're still a baby, gagagoo, but you're saying words that your family can't really comprehend, and they think it's child's play, and you're talking to your friend who is the shadow in your room, and you're calling him Bobby, you are probably in recollection of your last life. Bobby was your brother or your father, and you was referring to that name. See? It goes with you. You are taken into that new life. That house you dreamt about, you probably live there, and you know the inside and the people. It goes with you. So, the last thing I'm going to tell you, he says, the Jiva Atma, the wind wafts the scents from their seats. So if you go to the botanical gardens or you bring a new cologne or perfume in your home and you spray it, as the wind passes, the wind will take the fragrance and waft it and take it to the room and send it across. Nice? In this chapter, he says, even as the wind wafts scents from the seat, so too the Jiva Atma, which is the control of the body, taking the mind and the senses from the body which it leaves behind, forthwith migrates to the body which it acquires. So in conclusion, Bhagavan Krishna is comparing our body to the seat of a fragrance. It might be a flower, might be anything that is sweet. In this chapter, in this verse, Ashayat is reference to sweet smelling odors, bodies that emanate sweet smells, like a flower. Our body is compared to a flower, anything that releases fragrance. The mind is compared to the scent. So when a scent is blown from a flower and goes, the mind leaves the body like a scent. And the Jiva Atma is compared to the wind. A wind will blow to a flower and take the scent to another direction. So too, when the Jiva Atma is leaving the body, it takes the mind with it, the scent, and goes to another body. Do you all understand this? It is as simple as I could explain with my limited knowledge, right? So, if you understood that part of those 3 verses I barely touched on with my limited knowledge, then can we agree that we have all migrated and we may be migrating at some point in our life? When I was younger, I remember when you heard people migrate, they're going to the States, boy. They're going to the US. And all of you sitting here probably migrated from South or part in Central or from North and you got married and came Central, or you moved from Central and you migrated, or you left Trinidad and went to another country and came back. Those are temporary forms of migration. The real migration is what Uncle is about to undertake. This is not his first time, and it may not be his last, but only Lord Krishna will determine this. But I will tell you a few things now. I started before Bhagavad Gita mentioning that when a child is born, happiness comes into a family. But you know, at some point, when the body becomes old, it's like a brand new car that you got in the house. Maybe when you just got married, you got a fancy car because the young boy wants some flashy stuff, right? He spends his money on a nice sports car or something. And it is good for a while, but as he gets children and he gets older, you change that fast for a wagon. Because you know why? Your needs have changed. Good? As the body gets older, the children, and I say children because I consider myself a child, we want our parents to be here. I know this much. But we must understand as the body ages, it becomes painful. It is like a bird trapped in a cage. And for humans, when you see a bird trapped, you might relish in hearing the sweet melody that it sings for you. But do you really understand the heartache that it goes through? No, my voice is nothing compared to uncle. But hear this. Pinjare ke panchi re, tera dana dana jaane koi, tera dana dana jaane koi. What the poet said here. O bird trapped in a cage, no one knows the pain you suffer. No one. You want to fly free and live your niche, your life, what you were developed for. When we are older and sick and not well, we are suffering. Our family is seeing it. They hope and pray that you get better. But you want to leave this body because you understand it is not efficient for you anymore and you need to go. It is painful, isn't it? Right? Anyway, I will stop at this point now. Prem se bolo Brindavan Bihari Lala ki Jai. Before I pass you over to other members of the family, I will tell you one thing. Uncle here, I've known him for some years, and I was fortunate enough, I have no group when I go and read anywhere. They came with me, and I heard Uncle's voice in a temple in Princestown that I read, and I was in a different place listening to him. I thought about Muhammad Rafi and other great singers. When I came home, I told my wife, my goodness, I understand why he is so famous. It is absolutely melodious. It is breathtaking. You get lost in the verses. I was like, wow. John's also, and the family members. Why I mentioned this for? A few years I did puja for Uncle. Few things stood out to me. He has grace. But for me, he embodies some of the attributes of Sri Hanumanji. And I will tell you why. Not only is he mentally and physically strong as Hanumanji is, not only is he knowledgeable in the scriptures, I'm not sure if he could have flew and become a mountain and subatomic and as Hanumanji. If he did, he hit that part from me. But he had one of the greatest attributes that Hanumanji exhibits, which is humility. And I have the greatest respect for him for that. Because I will tell you one thing in life, you will meet many great people, talented in all forms, but few will exhibit humility. And when you find somebody with that character, that is a true individual. That he performed seva, service to thousands of people, along with John Pavitra and his family members and friends. They went to family and homes and brought, I wouldn't say happiness, but a sense of comfort in their trying times of grief. Imagine, you know how many times he and his family did that? You know how many blessings he got from that? Because he did it honorably. Satsang, I cannot explain you the power of it. I know men like him are few and in between, but I was privileged to know him. I was privileged to call him my uncle. Even though he's not biologically my uncle, I refer to him this way. May Lord Krishna continue to bless the Atma of Mr. Sahadeo Sirju. Prem se bolo Brindavan Bihari Lala ki Jai. At this point, I think they are to play the stuff from the Panditji. Yeah. John will take over. There are something to be played here on the system.
Principle of Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki Jai. Ram Naam Satya Hai. This morning we weren't privileged, rather we were most privileged to be in each other's presence as we give a most fitting send-off to Mamu. And to join with giving these send-off and giving their contributions are a couple of pundits who are unable to be here this morning. Three of them were here last night, and I have greetings from three this morning. And I'll start off with Pandit Navin.
And also Uncle Sarge family, immediate family, I want to take the opportunity to extend our solemn condolences on behalf of all of us at the SDMS as well as the Mandir, and on behalf of my own family. Uncle Sarge was known to us for many, many wonderful years. My father has had a long established tradition with this home and this family for over 40 years. I've been a pundit at this family's home for the past 20 years. This gentleman has given his life in the service and duty of Dharma. He's done a remarkable job through his inspirational kathas, and his beautiful voice has resonated in many homes, bringing comfort to families across the length and breadth of Trinidad and Tobago. He's done a tremendous job, and he has truly given himself in service to that which he was sent here for. Bade bhagya manushtan pava, sududurudaba saba, grantanagawa. He has certainly utilized his body for the purpose which it has been given. Sadhana moksha karadwara, and through his daily efforts and what he has done with his life and impacting the lives of many others by assisting their souls to gain salvation, his soul, I am sure, will gain salvation. May Bhagwan bless the home and the family, and also Mr. Krishna confer his choices grace upon this wonderful soul. I pray that Bhagwan continue to guide his soul and take him into oneness, and to members of the family, hold the strength and courage in your heart. Truly blessed. Nothing happens without the will of God, and truly Bhagwan is going to bless you tremendously for the work that has been done by him. May Bhagwan give you the strength and the courage to do what you have to do, especially in these most trying times. Our love and our support are with you and with your family, and we hope and continue that you will continue in the footsteps that have been led by this great legacy of your father. He has truly done a wonderful job with his life, and he has truly paved his way to Bhagwan. We join in a short prayer. May Bhagwan Sri Krishna uplift his soul. Om Krishna Tvadiya Padapangaja Panjarante Advaiva me Vishato Manasaraja Hansa Prana Prayana Samaye Kafabata Pitte Kantha Vedo Smaranam Kutaste. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Jai Sitaram, and to my beloved Panditji who officiates. May Bhagwan continue to bless you as well. Ram Nam Satya.
You know, Mamu's last trip to New York, he had very much anticipated being at the home of Pandit Yognath and attending his yag, and he wasn't able to, but myself together with Pavitra and Mommy, we were able to. And Panditji has sent his regards as well.
Sitaram, officiating Pandit, to the bereaved family, friends, relative. Today we have all come together to bid farewell. Farewell to a great soul, an individual who has sacrificed his entire life for the service of Dharma. In our scriptures it is beautifully put, Aaye bhi akela, jaye bhi akela, do din ki zindagi, do din ka mela. For one day we came into this world, and one day we're going to exit out of this world. No matter how much we understand, no matter how much we preach, no matter how much we read, it's difficult to understand when death occurs. When we look at the life of a great Uncle Sarge, he have lived a life not only preaching but practicing what he preached. He always encouraged me as a pundit to continue to do the good work of the Lord. Today, as we bid farewell to this great soul, I hope and pray that we will all take the teachings and we will try to replicate our lives just like that of Uncle Sarge. We'll all say he was a great man, but if we didn't learn anything from him and we didn't put it into practice, then what greatness of a man was him? Today, as he leaves, as he departs from this world, as we bid farewell, we pray and we ask Bhagwan Sri Krishna, wheresoever his soul may have to journey, to give to him blessing, guidance, and protection. But let us put it into practice, devotees. Let us take 1 minute and try to remember the teachings, the messages that he left for us to follow, and let us put it into practice. To his daughters, I want to say to them to please be strong and live the life that your father preached. As he have propagated dharma, Sanatan Dharma, through the length and breadth of Trinidad and Tobago, devotees, friends, relatives, today we ask Bhagwan to shower blessing upon his soul. Wheresoever he may have to journey, we ask Bhagwan to give to him blessing. Shri Krishna Sharanam Nama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Nama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Nama. Prem se bolo Vrindavan Vihari Lal ki Jai. Thank you.
And this last greeting comes from Mahant Dr. Baliram Chedi from Canada. For some reason, I can't seem to find it now, so I'll pass over to Baba.
Sitaram again. Well, I think at this point we would have a eulogy from the granddaughter.
Good morning and Sitaram, everybody. So, if not everyone, but I'm sure most people know this person here, Saj. But to me, he was one of my best friends, my inspiration, my Nana. There wasn't a day where he quarreled with me or any of his grandkids and didn't feel bad about it. The way he loved us was indescribable, and I know each of us felt the very same. It's crazy how I have to be here today to give a final farewell, but nothing hurts me more, but I know for sure that he will never be forgotten. I know everyone has their own happy memories and stories of my grandfather, but I wanted to share one of mine. So I normally dye his hair and I used to cut his nails. That's until I gave Bruin that job. But let me tell you why. The first time he called me to cut his nails, I was like, okay, I'm coming now. I sat down and I went to cut his nails. Well, I didn't know who told me it would have been easy. I'm trying to cut these nails using all my strength to get these nail clippers, at least cut the edges of these nails because of the way they're so hard. But after I finished cutting his fingernails, thinking it was so bad, he asked me to cut his toenails. That was just worse. And he's laughing at me trying to cut these nails to him, and I'm struggling. I sat there for a good 20 minutes trying to work my way through these nails. After that, I said, no way, tell Verna next time. And I'll never forget those times where I'd walk into the room in the middle of the night, already being scared of the dark, and he'd be sitting on the bed in the dark, scaring the life out of me, and just laugh afterwards. He definitely knows how to make fun of you, even though he loves you. However, even after scaring me all those nights, he always protected me. always picked up for me and always had my back even when I was wrong. He hated seeing any of us crying or quarreling, and prayer always quarreling, so he never got a break. And even though we mightn't get that type of protection and love back, we were lucky enough to have had it, because you can ask anyone who knew him what kind of person he was. Only good things would be said. And it's true, he was a hardworking, generous, and charitable man who never looked down on any of his friends and families, and he will be missed. I will miss him. I will miss him every day. Nothing will even begin to compare the way he treated me, his other grandkids, and daughters with utmost love and compassion. The way he introduced me as his princess made me feel so safe and comforted. And although it will be hard not hearing that again, I know now he's no longer in pain and is happy at peace. I love you so much was his last words he said to me, and I do too, and I will forever.
You know, wherever Mamu would read it, there's a poem that we members of the group, through him reciting it, we have become fond of it and we know it by heart as well. And that poem this morning, his granddaughter Priya will share with us.
Sitaram, I am here today to honor my grandfather, who would have said this poem to give grieving families some hope that their loved ones, who are unfortunately no longer with them, are at peace. Don't grieve for me, for now I'm free. I'm following the path that God has laid you see. I took his hand when I heard him call. I turned my back and left it all. I could not stay another day, to laugh, to love, to work, to play. Tasks left undone must stay that way. I found that peace at the close of day. If my parting has left a void, then fill it with remembered joy. A friendship shared, a laugh, a kiss. Oh yes, these things too I will miss. Be not burdened by times of sorrow. I wish you the sunshine of tomorrow. My life's been full, I savored much. Good friends, good times, a loved one's touch. Perhaps my time seemed all too brief. Don't lengthen it now with undue grief. Lift up your hearts and peace to thee. God wanted me now, he set me free.
Thanks very much to Mahima and Priya. Before I pass you over to both my cousins, I will play this greeting by Dr. Baliram Chedi.
Namaste, Jai Sitaram to all my dear friends, well-wishers, family members. On this Desi Sanskar of a dear father, Mamu, brother, uncle, grandfather, as the case might be. I have spoken to uncle once, twice over the phone, and we exchange information about Sri Hanumanji. To my dear friend Pavita, his daughter, and to his dearest nephew, Maniram, many of you know as John. This is Mahanji Dr. Baliram Chedi, spiritual leader of the Hanuman Mission. And I pray and hope today, as you perform the Desi Sanskar funeral ceremony according to Hindu rites, for Mamuji, Papaji, Uncle, many has listened to him together with you guys in satsang night after night across the length and breadth of Trinidad. His voice may not be here in real, but his voice will remain active in the airways because people have seen him, people have heard him, and people watch him sitting usually on a chair next to you guys. Maniramji, continue doing what your Mamu would have wanted you to do and was so very proud of you. We're all proud of you. And Mamu would want nothing less for you To my dear friend, Pavita, your dad, your papa, would have wanted you to continue playing that dandal, playing the instruments, being in satsang and singing together with your cousin. He would not want you guys to stop and mourn for him. He would want you to continue. This is the traversing part of life, as we say, life and death, full 360. You have now joined my club, where I've lost my parents. So life has to continue. We embrace the memories. We treasure the life we had with our parents. And as we say, Ram Nam Satya Hai, Atma Shanti. May that Atma of the late Uncle G today, as you guys performing this ceremony, Antesi Sanskar, may that Atma travel very successfully and merge with Paramatma, so he will find an eternal resting place, eternal moksha, as we say. Om Hiranya Garbha Purusha Vyakta Avyakta Swarupini Asya Pretasya Moksharutam Suprito Bhava Sarvara Atma Shanti Ram Nam Satya Hai. This is Mahanji, Dr. Balim Chedi, spiritual leader of the Hanuman Mission, and I join with all of you on this Antesi Sanskar with Pavita, sisters, and Maniramji, as we pay our final tribute this morning in Antesi Sanskar and loving memory to the late Uncle G. Rest in peace. Atma Shanti. Hari Om. Tat Sat. Om Shanti. Shanti. Shanti.
Prem se bolo Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. So this morning, before I pass you over to my cousins Pavitra and Nisha, I would like to take the opportunity to say something with you, because if I don't, I will feel incomplete. So I have known how much Mamu has been liked throughout Trinidad and even internationally. I've seen it, but I have experienced it over this past couple of days. Indeed, this morning we have people from as far as Labre, San Francisco, Oropuch, Diego Martin, Sandy Grande, who are joining us here. And over the past couple of days, I would have felt the love, your outpour of love, your calls and messages have been many, and I have not been able to respond to them. And similarly, his daughters may not have been able to respond to all. But we do appreciate them, and we have received them. And this is our way of acknowledging them. You know, to prove how much Mamu is liked, this morning you're seeing 11 of us performing his rites, and none has been forced to. We're all performing his rites willingly. You know, Mamu Pandit Ravi has said, was a great devotee of Lord Hanuman. He loved his Hanuman. He loved his Hanuman Chalisa. And as I would have mentioned here when I would have read, I sung that Hanuman Chalisa for him during the last. And we all know that Lord Hanuman is the 11th Ruj of Lord Shivaji, right? And it's 11 of us here this morning, coincidentally, performing his last rites. I'm sure he's happy. And you know, some may believe it's wrong, but we have gotten advice not from one, but from many pundits. And they have all given us the all clear. So much so that Pandit Navin has told me to instruct his 5 godchildren who are taking part that he's very proud of them, that they have stood up and decided to join this morning. With this being said, I'll pass over to my cousin Pavitra, who will say a few words, followed by Mamu's youngest daughter Nisha, who would have spoken to him last that day when he passed.
Salam, everybody. It was not my intention to say anything this morning. I do not know why I've been put in this position. Daddy, I don't think there's anything that is left to be said. I think we have all said it. I think we have all expressed it. He has really contributed so much to the community and to the country at large. And there are no words that we can use to really express how great a man he really was. And as Baba is saying, and as other pundits have said, you know, he has left a mark, an indelible mark, on every single person who has attended this funeral service. I don't think that there has been any doubt in my mind, and there is no doubt in my mind how much each and every one of you appreciated him, loved him, honored him. And I thank you all from the bottom of my heart on behalf of my sisters and our immediate family. I want to say thank you very much for the support. We got the support not only in Trinidad, but we saw it while we were there in New York with Daddy. There was so much support that I really, really cannot begin to express how thankful I am, John, my sisters are. If I begin to say anything more about my father, that is going to last for the rest of the day. And I think everything has been said. If it hasn't been said already, I know you all know and you all think it. So again, I thank you very much for the support, and I ask you in your own way to please say a prayer for his soul, and I know that he will rest in peace, and I know that he is in the arms of Lord Krishna, because he was one man who always said he is ready to go, because he knew what he has done, what he had done, and what he believed was enough for him to reach to Godhead. So in your own way, I ask you again to say a prayer for him and to grant us, because we are no longer with parents. I know it's hard, especially for my sisters, and I really thought that I might have had the courage this morning. I mean, I have been trying to be pretty strong, but seeing him here, it is a different feeling altogether. So thank you, and stir up.
You know, I have been saying for the past couple of days that I read Ramayana and all these scriptures all over, but I'm still yet a coward, right? When it comes to funeral, I'm still afraid. But this is one man I haven't been afraid of at all, at all, at all. I've been sleeping most comfortable for the past 2 weeks. But I know this morning, if two persons doesn't sing here, he will choke us for sure. And one of them being his youngest daughter, Nisha. And she will do that this morning. Your song for Tanti Shanti, so you have to sing for Mamu as well.
He Shiva Shankara Namami Shankara Shiva Shankara Shambhu Samay ek tara jag bole जल तल नभ में मधुर सबोले ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय Om Namah Shivaya Jag ke dukh santaap re manwa jab tujhko kar paya moh maya ke jote bandhan जब तुझको पर पाया जपना मुख से होले हाले ओम नमः शिवाय ओम
to this particular song, most meaningful one, Mama would have done throughout Trinidad. And you know, it's loved by all. And this morning I will attempt to do this beautiful song. उजर गया पंछी जब तेरा बसेरा, उजर गया पंछी अब तेरा बसेरा, टूट गई वो डाली जिस पर तूने डाला डेरा, उजर गया पंछी जब तेरा बसेरा, आया वो तूफान बिकर के रह गया तिनका तिनका, लिया है तुझसे किस्मत ने बदला किस दिन का, ये रंग बिरंगे पंख छोड़ दे अपना पिंजरा तोड़ दे, आए बगम की रात न होगा जिसका कोई सवेरा, उजर गया पंछी अब तेरा बसेरा, साथ छोड़ गया साथी तेरा रह गया उसकी याद, चुप हो जा चुप हो जा तेरे कौन सुनेगा दर्द भरी फरियाद, हार श्रृंगार मिटा दे अपना, हार श्रृंगार मिटा दे अपना, मेरी खुशियाँ हो गए सपना, छोटी सी एक जान को गम के तूफानों ना घेरा, उजर गया पंछी अब तेरा बसेरा, उजर गया पंछी अब तेरा बसेरा।
Sitaram again. Are you all hearing me? All right, Sitaram. Well, normally when I stand here and I listen, I try to take some mental notes. And I'll tell you a few things before I close. I learned today that Uncle had hard nails. And you know, when you have strong nails, you can use it to build a good structure, right? So, I knew he could sing. I knew he was knowledgeable. A son is a particle of his father. So all the children here are particles of him. Greatness produces greatness. And you must understand this. Yes, he was valuable. Yes, he cannot be replaced. But Bhagavan Krishna allowed John to take this train and carry it rolling. And I know, John, your voice is just as potent. I know you all will continue, Pavitra, the sisters, the grandchildren, the group members. I know it's difficult right now. I told Uncle once that I consider him close as a father figure because you all know the late Pandit Ganesdat Maharaj was my Pitaji. I lost him some years ago. And I'll tell you what, for all the younger people in the crowd right now, if you're lucky enough to have your parents, as big as you are, as old as you are, as vexed as you are, as happy as you are, whatever the circumstances may be, when you see them, give them a hug and just tell them thank you just for everything. Because only when you become parents will you know the value of being a parent. When you are younger, we get married and leave, and that's normal. But check in on parents ever so often. If you're lucky enough to have them and live to live with them, you're lucky. You're very lucky, because one day Bhagavan Krishna will take them. And I always say this. I do arati for my parents in my puja room in a picture. The first time I did that, I cried like a child. Told my wife, I cannot believe life. When you have them, you probably do arati for them when you have puja or things like that. If you're lucky enough, man, do arati for your parents every single day, bow to their feet, hug them, cook some food, ask them how are they going. Appreciate them as much as you can, because time is limited. Uncle was a great man, without a doubt, but he left great people to continue. And I know you all will do just service and take this group to even greater heights. You may not see it now, but our time will come. I will leave you with this. We decorate and look after the external as if it is eternal, but it is only provisional, serving for a time being. Prem se bolo, Brindavan Bihai Lal ki Jai. At this point, sure, I just got a request that one of the elder sister-in-law would like to sing a bhajan, and we will close. So I welcome you, Auntie.
Sitaram, everyone. First, I must say that Saj was the pillar of this family. I have searched everywhere, but I cannot find anyone who could replace him. He, from the time that I have known him, is a very humble, kind, loving person who was always there to support you in whatever situation. When my husband passed away, I had his back. When no one was available to do a monthly satsang, he was there, even at a moment's notice. When he sang, the whole audience would just freeze. He had such a sweet, soothing, melodious voice. And I must say that he has molded John to take in his footsteps. The only person I know who has a voice like him is John. I must say that. John is the only one who can sing with him, and he can rest assured that his legacy will live on through John. For his children whom he loved very much, I would like to sing a couple lines. Those of you who know it, please sing along with me. हे जगत पिता भगवान हमें दो ज्ञान तू ईश्वर प्यारा दुनिया में एक सहारा हे जगत पिता भगवान हमें दो ज्ञान तू ईश्वर प्यारा दुनिया में एक सहारा बचपन में होश न आया है जोबन में पाप कमाया है बचपन में होश न आया है जोबन में पाप कमाया है अब जाओ कहाँ विषयों ने मुझको मारा दुनिया में एक सहारा हे जगत पिता भगवान हमें दो ज्ञान तू ईश्वर प्यारा दुनिया में एक सहारा दिल मेरा तू यह कहता है तू मन मंदिर में रहता है दिन रात भटकता रह मैं डर डर मारा दुनिया में एक सहारा हे जगत पिता भगवान हमें दो ज्ञान तू ईश्वर प्यारा दुनिया में एक सहारा. I want to say this to John. John, as a young child, you have been sending the scriptures worldwide. And this is truly because of the instrument of your uncle. He was very instrumental in your learning. Sarge, I want to tell you that I love you. Although you are not here, you will be in my spirits. Thank you.
Sitaram again. Auntie, thank you for your loving words. What can I say? I know possibly each person here will like to say something because of how great he was. I understood. I understand this. But I think we have come to the point now where we will close. All good things come to an end at some point. So, I'll ask everyone, please clasp your hands. Let us conclude with some mantra. So, you all can think of Bhagavan Krishna in your mind and ask him, the greatness that Uncle Sarge did, the seva he performed, the 1,000 that he helped. Let this benefit the Atma. Let him at the end of the year, only Bhagavan Krishna knows what happens to the Atma, but we ask that his Atma merge with Paramatma. Let him sing and rejoice for Lord Krishna. Doesn't that sound nice? Let him sing. Let him sing in that supreme abode. Om Anadi Nedano Devaha Shankha Chakra Gadadaraha Akshaya Pundari Kakshaha Preta Moksha Prado Bhava Om Krishna Krishna Kripalo Tvam Magati Nangatir Bhava Samsara Sarada Magnanam Prasida Purushotam Om Tat Sat Pret Atmaha Shanti Om Tat Sat Pret Atmaha Shanti Om Tat Sat Pret Atmaha Shanti. At this point, I will invite immediate family members to come forward and perform your last respects. And as soon as the family members are finished, the members of the public, you all are welcome to come and keep your right shoulder to the box, enter and leave, right? I'll step away forward. So I will sing this because my late Pitaji, Pandit Ganesh Dutt Maharaj, did this at every funeral. Shri Krishna Chan Maharaja Prabhu Bitani Etani Suniye Suniye Shri Krishna Chan Maharaja Prabhu Bitani Etani Suniye Suniye जिनके कुछ है अवलंबा नहीं तिनके चरण रखिए रखिए श्री कृष्ण चंद महाराज प्रभु बितनी तनी सुनिए सुनिए इसके अवगुण बहु तेरे हैं यही बार क्षमा करिए करिए श्री कृष्ण चंद महाराज प्रभु बितनी तनी सुनिए सुनिए दीना दया पिता तुम्हें निज धाम इसके चाहिए चाहिए श्री कृष्ण चंद महाराज प्रभु बितनी तनी सुनिए सुनिए मोक्षा दया बिना ओत नहीं चाहे कोटि प्रबंध करिए करिए श्री कृष्ण चंद महाराज प्रभु बितनी तनी सुनिए सुनिए भवसागर धारा बहुत गहरी, कोई नाव वहाँ चाहिए चाहिए। श्री कृष्ण चंद महाराजा प्रभु बितनी तानी, सुनिए सुनिए। ये मृतक जीव को सुधारो गति, निजदा सबना गनिए गनिए। श्री कृष्ण चंद महाराजा प्रभु बितनी तनी, सुनिए सुनिए। कोई ब्रात तुम्हारा करे बिनती, दया भगवान करिए करिए। श्री कृष्ण चंद महाराजा प्रभु बितनी तनी, सुनिए सुनिए। श्री कृष्ण चंद महाराजा प्रभु बितनी तनी, सुनिए सुनिए। I ask everyone to chant with me as members, and others are welcome to pay their last respect. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Join with me. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. You want to play anything? You want to play something? Play something else?
To get back into oneness with our Maker. हरि हो राम मिलन कब होए, अंदिस वाला गिरहे। हरि हो राम मिलन कब होए, अंदिस वाला गिरहे। हरि हो राम मिलन कब होए, अंदिस वाला गिरहे। देहिया रथवा में इंद्रयन पहिया हो, देहिया रथवा में इंद्रयन पहिया हो। भव के पंक्ति चले, भव के पंक्ति चले, अंदेश वाला गिरहे। हो राम मिलन कब होई अंदिस वाला रहे। पाप नशी में जीवन निंदिया हो, पाप नशी में जीवन निंदिया हो, भजन की भोर भये, भजन की भोर भये अंदेस वाला दे रहे। हरि हो राम मिलन कब होई अंदेस वाला दे रहे। वेद पुराणे ग्रंथ भव्यंजन, वेद पुराणे ग्रंथ भव्यंजन, पाकर बने जबली, पाकर बने जबली अंदिस वाला दे रहे। हरि हो राम मिलन कब होए अंदिस वाला दे रहे। जागृत स्वप्न सुषुप्ति तुरैया हो, जागृत स्वप्न सुषुप्ति तुरैया हो, जीतो तब राम मिले, जीतो तब राम मिले अंदेस वाला दे रहे। हरि हो राम मिलन कब होए अंदेस वाला दे रहे। हरि हो राम मिलन कब होए अंदिस वाला दे रहे। हरि हो राम मिलन कब होए अंदिस वाला। This bhajan is saying, my Lord, when will I come and meet with you? And that's supposed to be the ultimate goal for each one of us, to get back into oneness with our Maker. हरि हो राम मिलन कब होए अंदिस वाला रहे। हरि हो राम मिलन कब होए अंदिस वाला रहे। हरि हो राम मिलन कब होए अंदिस वाला रहे। देहिया रथवा में इंद्रयन पहिया हो, देहिया रथवा में इंद्रयन पहिया हो, भव के पंक्ति चले, भव के पंक्ति चले अंदेस वाला गे रहे। हरि हो राम मिलन कब होए अंदिस वाला गे रहे। पाप नशी में जीवन निंदिया हो, पाप नशी में जीवन निंदिया हो, भजन की भोर भये, भजन की भोर भये वेद पुराणे ग्रंथ भव्यंजन वेद पुराणे ग्रंथ भव्यंजन पाकर बने जबली पाकर बने जबली बंदिसवाला दे रहे हरि हो राम मिलन कब होए बंदिसवाला गे रहे जागृत स्वप्न सुषुप्ति तुरैया हो जागृत स्वप्न सुषुप्ति तुरैया हो जीतो तब राम मिले जीतो तब राम मिले संदेशवाला गे रहे हरि हो राम मिलन कब होए संदेशवाला गे रहे हरि हो राम मिलन कब होए संदेशवाला गे रहे हरि हो राम मिलन कब होए संदेशवाला This bhajan is saying, my Lord, when will I come?
छोर जमीन
जय जग जननी भवान जय जग जननी भवान जय जग जननी भवान जय जग जननी भवानी पुरामा अचल वरदानी जय जग जननी भवान जय जग जननी भवानी पुरामा अचल वरदानी जय जग जननी भवान जगमग 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 ज्योत विराजे ज्योत विराज जगमग 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 ज्योत विराजे ज्योत विराज तेज प्रताप चल वरदानी जय जग जननी भवान महिमाय गमय पार तुम्हारो या पार तुम्हारो महिमाय महिमा महिमाय गमय पार तुम्हारो या पार तुम्हारो वेश सुरेश न जानी हो राम जननी भवानी हो रामा अचल वरदानी जय जग जननी भवानी। दुख हरनी सुख संपत भरनी संपत भरनी। दुख हरनी सया दुख हरनी दुख हरनी सुख संपत भरनी संपत भरनी। चरण सकल चलियानी हो राम मन जानी हो रामा अचल वरदानी जय जग जननी भवानी जय जग जननी भवानी हो रामा अचल वरदानी जय जग जननी भवानी जय जग जननी भवानी हो रामा अचल वरदानी जय जग जननी भवानी।
The Prem Saga Ramayana group, and they hail from right here in the vicinity of Bilkal. Now this group has been in existence
ज्योतिष ज्योति जगाते चलो ज्योतिष ज्योति जगाते चलो प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो। राह में आए जो दीन दुखी राह में आए जो दीन दुखी सबको गले से लगाते चलो प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो। जिसकन कोई संगी साथी ईश्वर है रखवाला जो निर्धन है जो निर्बल है वो है प्रभु का प्यारा। प्यार की मोती प्यार की मोती लुटाते चलो प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो। आशा टूटी ममता रूठी छूट गए हैं किनारा। बंद करो मत द्वार दया का दे दो कुछ को सहारा। दीप दया का दीप दया का जलाते चलो प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो। छाया है चाहो और अंधेरा भटक गए हैं दिशाएं। नाम में भाता है धानव किसको गाथा सुनाए। धरती को धरती को स्वर्ग बनाते चलो प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो, ज्योतिष ज्योति जगाते चलो, ज्योतिष ज्योति जगाते चलो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो, राह में आए जो दीन दुखी, राह में आए जो दीन दुखी, सबको गले से लगाते चलो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो। ज्योतिष ज्योति जगाते चलो, ज्योतिष ज्योति जगाते चलो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो, राह में आए जो दीन दुखी, राह में आए जो दीन दुखी, सबको गले से लगाते चलो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो। जिसकन कोई संगी साथी, ईश्वर है रखवाला, जो निर्धन है जो निर्बल है, वो है प्रभु का प्यारा, प्यार की मोती प्यार की मोती लुटाते चलो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो। आशा टूटी ममता रूठी, छूट गए हैं किनारा, बंद करो मत द्वार दया का, दे दो कुछ को सहारा, दीप दया का दीप दया का जलाते चलो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो। छाया है चाहो और अंधेरा, भटक गए हैं दिशाएं, नाम में भाता है धानव, किसको गाथा सुनाए, धरती को धरती को स्वर्ग बनाते चलो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो, ज्योतिष ज्योति जगाते चलो, ज्योतिष ज्योति जगाते चलो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो, राह में आए जो दीन दुखी, राह में आए जो दीन दुखी, सबको गले से लगाते चलो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो। ज्योतिष ज्योति जगाते चलो, ज्योतिष ज्योति जगाते चलो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो। राह में आए जो दीन दुखी, राह में आए
अपना पिंजरा तोड़ दे, हमको गम की रात न होगा, जिसको कोई सोवा उड़ गया पंछी, अब सोवा सकेगा। साथी छोड़ के अपना भी तोरा, रह गई